Hey there. We are just hours away from going to Origins Game Fair. We got a knock at the door, and it turns out that the second proof for Sovereign is here now. So we are going to do a really quick impromptu box opening, and we're going to see what the changes are from the previous proof right before we go to an airport.
If you recall from our last video, our first copy was pretty beat up. And we found out that's because these copies, they're not mass printed, right? These are not offset prints, so these are actually handmade. And as a result, they are more beat up than you would usually see in prints. But hopefully this one's a little less beat up.
I think they probably did this one closer to the actual print. I think they took our initial terror to heart. I think this is part of just being first-time publishers, that we are used to getting games really nice and shrink wrap. Having talked to more publishers, pretty common to get a proof copy that's extremely beat up, or just has major problems that you didn't think you'd have. So already it looks better. There's no scratches, there's no scuffs on this one.
We also did saturate the cover more, and I think it looks better.
Does look better. Still a little dark. I think we need to brighten it up a little bit more. Ooh, that is cool. That is cool looking. Yeah, saturation is much higher. Still a little dark, so it needs to be brought up a little bit. But you can see right here. This is the second attempt at a cover. We removed the what do you even call that? Foil. We removed the foil from the cover, and we replaced it with a spot gloss, which I like more. I think that looks better to me. We still have the same color on the O, but the rest of the letters kind of shine and shimmer, if you can spot that.
I can see it a lot more on the side. The images on the side also have spot gloss on them. And
that looks quite good.
That's
Again,
pretty obvious.
The gloss actually makes it darker. This is a common effect of gloss coverings. Gloss acts to increase contrast in imagery. So anytime you add gloss, if you already had black or dark images, anything dark gets darker and anything white gets lighter. So the whites look really, really white, which is great. That's exactly what I want. High contrast whites, easily readable. But these are a little dark, so they end up kind of getting lost a little bit. So we'll have to bring those up.
They look really good, though.
They look awesome. They're just a little dark. And then our cover is still matte, which I love. I think this is really good saturation. I feel really good about this blue. This teal is pretty exact where we want it. I'd say that's like 98% of what it looks like on a monitor, which is excellent. That means the print quality is just as high as we want. So as long as we bring up those blacks a little bit, then we will be in a great spot. And then the back looks awesome. Looks better than the other one, definitely. Absolutely perfect. Love that back. Looks gorgeous. And feels great. This is a great feeling, like really silky, not slippery, silky.
What's interesting is that for the foil, it actually changes the finish that you can have on the box. So switching out the foil for the spot gloss not only changes the foil, it also changes the actual finish on the box.
And it feels better.
Cool.
So I think this is a better choice.
Cool.
All right, so let's open it up. Let's see what's inside. All right, so these we expect to be exactly the same, and they basically are. They're a little lighter. We knew that we would have that. Next up, we've got these tokens, and they are perfect. So you'll recall that last time we had tokens, they were their cut was slightly offset. So let's pop one of these out to show it off.
And that is something, again, we found out. It's because these are handmade. They're not made by an actual machine. It's just like literally some guy.
See what happened again. The cover, the talents are perfect.
Yeah.
So this is an example talent. The talents are perfect, but then they're not as off as they were before, but they're still a little off. This one is almost exact. So this one is better than tolerance. This is probably impossible to see right now. We'll do another pass for close-ups, but this one is very close to perfect, I would say. Enough that, if you didn't design the game, you would have a very hard time telling this was not exact. So this is very, very good. All right, so now we've got the inside of the box. First off, we've got the new foiled version of the bag. I think the other one is nicer. I like the other one.
I agree.
So.
And they sent us a picture, and we're like, it's
Yeah,
not that good,
okay.
but send it to us anyway.
Kind of velvety too, which I don't really like. I don't really like a velvety bag. Some games that would be better, like a fantasy game that would be better, but I don't really like the velvety stuff. So we tried to see if we could foil the bag.
Kind of cool on
It looks cool.
camera.
It's not bad. It's just kind of like the other one more, just because this is like foil on fabric, kind of ends up a little wrinkly.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it looks good on camera, but my eyes can see the wrinkles already.
Yeah. It looks really cool. If I hadn't already seen the fabric, I wouldn't have any reservations. It's because I've already seen the fabric version.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've got the deck boxes. Deck boxes look much better than they did. You'll recall that our original deck boxes that got sent were too small. These are just right, so you'll see that you can put your sleeved cards into these. And then if we open these up, each one, so you see that when the cards come, they fill about half of the box. So you have plenty of room for sleeves to go inside, and it's really easy to reach inside and pull out your deck. And the cards we also brightened up a little bit, and they look excellent. These look, they're pretty much perfect. These look extraordinary. Color is extremely saturated. Contrast is very good, but not too much. Here, the Shroud, this is one of the hardest cards to print right. The Shroud has always, he lives in a cave. It looks like he lives in a cave, and there's extreme contrast with sun on the top and a cave inside. Looks excellent. This is really hard to get right. I think we really, can you see that in the camera? I think we really nailed the Shroud. Like, I think he looks really, really good.
Pull out the Utopians. Let's look at a few of Tansy Stevens.
Okay, let's check them out. Yeah, Tansies are definitely not the darkest, but definitely the highest contrast in the game.
We have a bunch of her art, and it's amazing, but it is it's given us the most trouble of any of the art.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the cover first.
Those boxes look really good.
The boxes look really good. They're we need more borders on the edges though. You can see that the text just touches. I don't want to lose that text under any circumstances. Let's get a bigger border in there. But then let's take a look at some. Yeah, these look really, really good. Chimera empaths are usually pretty dark. We haven't had a good print of these in like three attempts because it's so dark. Just enough. It's a very high contrast image. I think it looks really, really good. Here's an example of Tansy stuff. This is perfect. Perfect. This is exactly right. Chimera telepaths have a lot of black in that image. It's looking really, really good. I think we can tell, like, full detail, everything, nothing is too... yeah, that's really good. If anything, I'd say this looks better than it does on a monitor. At this point,
Wow.
I would say this is definitely Cloudbreakers. I would say this looks better than it does on a monitor. That is an excellent reproduction.
Yeah, it looks really
Looks
good.
really good. Really good. Yeah, Crash, holy shit. Crash Tutors, look at that. Look at Crash Tutors. That's so cool. That looks so good. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we've just gotten used to losing some detail in the black.
Yep.
And now you can just pick out everything without losing. These are so cool. They feel so good.
And these aren't even the offset, so.
I know. Yeah, this is exactly right. The box needs to be a little brighter, but everything else is just excellent. So we've also got our new phase summary cards. So let's check those out. Our new phase summary cards with our phase summary cards on the one side and the iconography on the other. They feel great. Look great too. We got one of those in every deck. All right, let's break out the expansion. See how that looks. I didn't really have any issues with the expansion, but let's just double check and make sure that the expansion is how we predict.
The issue with the last one is that the deck boxes were the wrong size.
Yes,
so
but the
sliding
box
all
looked
around
good.
the
Oh,
desk
huh.
box itself.
This has more tokens.
Oh.
I don't know why. Let's find out. Huh.
I must have given us samples. They're labeled.
I know, they're labeled with token 1 and token 2. They didn't say they were sending anything.
Oh, the acrylics!
Are they acrylics?
I think they are.
So we have never seen the acrylics. We haven't even seen a photograph of the acrylics. All right, I'll come back to this because I want to see these, whatever these are. So they.
Oh, saturation?
Oh, they're so much thinner than they are thinner than I expected.
Which is good.
Which is
One
good,
of the
which is
initial
good.
things we were worried about was they were saying they're going to be quite fat.
Huh. Okay, did not see this coming. They are exactly. Oh, it's because there's only half. There's only half. They didn't acrylic the other half. One side of the acrylics has the acrylic surface. So the talents have an acrylic surface on the top. But then the back side just has the print. I've seen these in the Battletech sample box as well. So what I expected was that the acrylics would be double thickness. So twice the a little less than twice the thickness of one cardboard piece. What they've sent is acrylics that are single thickness, so only one side actually has the acrylic surface. So that isn't what we want. So we'll have to ask to have these doubled up, because that's how it's supposed to be. So it's supposed to be printed like this. So in this case, I'm just showing the two sides of the talent, and they look really interesting, but only on the talent side. Right now, the drone side just basically looks like the cardboard because it's just printed on the surface. That is our acrylics. Finally, we've got the expansion box. So here we got the expansion box with it's got the new glossy finish.
And as you're opening that, I'll say that we are going to be getting the dice very soon. The factory is definitely not manufacturing them in-house. They're definitely getting it from a different manufacturer. So it just, everything seems to be slow as far as the dice go. The first dice did not look very good, so we are getting the second ones made.
There's nothing better than opening up plastic wrap from something you created. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now I've got a new box surface and new glossy logo on the expansion box. I like this a lot better. Again, feels better, silky, really good print. It's easier to read too. I like it a lot. So, great. And then inside, ooh, that's fun. See, with the new boxes, inside you see it's got this nice, beautiful grid of boxes.
That's what it was supposed to be.
Gorgeous, beautiful grid of imagery, and then you, I guess, just spill them out. And then we'll slot them in.
It's nice that you can carry them all in one big box, but you can also split them out and take 4 decks, out in a little travel size box too.
So that is the new proof, which is, so we are very close now. We are so close. We just need to see the dice and then we're ready to print. We're just waiting on those. We have everything sorted now. We've seen everything we need to see except for the dice. And hopefully those will be here by the time we get back from Origins. We will see some of you at Origins. So when you get this video, it may seem late because you'll already have met us at where we are going. So if you pledged to the Kickstarter campaign for Sovereign, you might have noticed that at the bottom of the pledge list, there is a ludicrously overpriced option for $2,000 for a special one-off custom deck that I would draw myself, make all new cards for, and release to only the person who paid it. We had 2 of those, and I'm really excited that they exist. I was so happy making the first one, which was made years ago and has never been replicated ever. And now we're going to do that 2 more times. This is your only chance to see 2 decks that may never be available to anybody, except the 2 people who actually ordered them. But since so much effort was put into them, I kind of want to show off like what these two specialized factions have to offer. So first we have the Principality of Waifulelu. The idea for this deck was almost like a splinter faction of the church, where worship has gone terribly, horribly wrong, and people are worshiping these beautiful little waifu creatures, cannibals and undead, and are sort of these like parts of a much greater godlike whole. So let's start with the drone units. So the lower class of this faction are mostly people who give their organs to the higher ups. So we've got the penitent pilgrims, we've got the liver givers. I'm gonna read out the flavor text. Or here, the liver givers slither hither. It's important you say this when you put out the liver givers. They are going to give their organs. In this case, they are resilient, but the talent units are going to eat the organs of the smaller units. So it's important that your drone units are constantly full of health so that they can feed their health upwards to the more powerful talent-based units up high. We, of course, have the kidney crew. This is also an important feeding unit. And we have the meat wagon. And this is a drone-based unit that's going to recycle all of the drones that are eaten and lost in combat. They're going to come back to your citadel rather than being lost, so you can keep feeding them back to your talent-based units. All right, so what exactly do we have for our talent units? We've got our adorable butcher. We've got a Genki Gourmand, and we've got a Tsundere Skinner. Now these are anime terms in case you don't know. Anime was an important part of the deck. That was like the basis of the structure. The creator wanted the deck to have the idea of like VTube worship, but taken to its logical extreme, where like the VTubers eat their viewers and grow stronger basically off the flesh of the like parasocial relationship that they have. And so I went all the way with this and made it so that they are literally skinning and eating their fan club. And the fan club is literal. So right here we've got the Big Sisters fan club. So like I've tried to create a series of meat-based everything. This is a meat faction. Everything is meat-based in some way. So like the whole thing is sort of a giant engine for like butchery. We've got the literal baby factory. We've got the abattoir. We've got the cathedral. And of course the Delica Temple. And all of this leads into kind of a new kind of facility, the Great Pyramid of Waifulelu. And this is meant to overlay your original citadel. So the Great Pyramid of Waifulelu is the first card I've ever made that actually modifies your leader ability. And I'll probably extend this to an upcoming expansion as well, because I'm really interested in how this thing works. The citadel starts looking very plain, and then once you build the Great Pyramid, it goes over the original citadel structure. And I think that'll look really cool and give you a great sense of like progression of building the civilization. So early on when I was building this, somebody called it meat worship, and that stuck. So here is a meat worship. This is the reflex meat worship. But then we also have the unit meat worship, which was really hard to draw. In fact, I'm kind of embarrassed showing it. Maybe don't show that thing. Censor that. It actually took me more than a week to figure out how to draw anime eyes. Like I said on the Kickstarter, this would be hard to make because I'm not a good 2D artist. But I wanted to give it all, and I wanted to make sure that the whole like VTube anime thing was like really coming across. And that took a while, but I'm happy with the way they came out. So hopefully, because it has not been extensively playtested and may break at any time, hopefully that all triggers the way I predicted, and when you try it, it will do what it's supposed to do. You'll eat your children, grow fat and large, and then be all consumed by a powerful god that cares nothing for you in a sort of horrific, self-consuming Ouroboros of an anime-themed deck. Next up, we've got the House of Pawda. This deck, this had less explanation of exactly what I should make, so I think I had a little bit more freedom in what I had to create here. The only explanation for the basis of the deck was that it needed to have dogs and fashion. And when I prodded more, the answers were just more dogs and more fashion. So that is what I created. This is a civilization of dogs who have become so obsessed with a fashion-based caste system that they can no longer function properly without the appropriate accoutrement decorating their dog bodies. So every unit is a dog. And then every reflex, I've created a new kind of card that's only in this deck, that will only ever be in this deck, called Vogues. So I have Reflex Vogues. And a Vogue triggers based on players who are wearing that piece of clothing. So I've got Vogues for hats, I've got Vogues for tassels, I've got Vogues for heels, I've got Vogues for scarves and wigs and too many belts. I've got Vogues for days. This is a deck that is very literally for somebody who has too many dogs and too many hats and wants to use that to win the game. I realized during the creation of the Principality of Waifulelu that I couldn't draw dogs. There's a dog in that deck I'm not even going to show. I can't draw dogs. I had to draw a dog, but dogs don't come out looking like dogs. They look like mutated camels. So I tried dogs for a while. I gave up on drawing, and eventually I just had to say, your deck's going to have to be a different idea. So I went with the classic time-tested board game designer's backup. I went with 18th century paintings of dogs, and they're designed in such a way that you can mash them up, so hopefully the dogs look like they're kind of wearing clothes. And that was how the art style worked for this. So I didn't paint these, I just used kind of museum pieces that look pretty funny. And here, I'm just gonna flash through some of these ridiculous dogs. I love these dogs. The other thing that was important for this is that I couldn't do augments because these dogs live in like an 18th century fashion-based aristocracy. So I had to change up augments a little bit. So we've still got talents and drones as usual, but now augments are called garments. So in this deck, instead of augmenting your units, you add garments to your units, and the garments are based on like seasons. So I'll just go over the seasons right now. You've got Barktober, Fall, Smarch, Spring, Summer, and Winter. That has, as promised, not been tested at all. So hopefully that works. Maybe it's really good and like annihilates your friends and they don't want to play with you because you have way too many hats. Or maybe bringing 14 belts to your game of Sovereign will get old. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I had a lot of fun creating this, and I'm really happy that it exists. And I really want to see it in action. So I'm really excited to see it printed and played against normal factions. Or maybe against the Principality of Waifulelu. I don't know. So while we were at Origins, people asked us multiple times for more playthroughs. We've been hearing this since we did our last playthroughs. I know we were supposed to make more. We were waiting until we had real cards. Now we have real cards. Now we can make playthroughs. So our next video will be a playthrough of some kind. So you can see more strategy exposés, more deck examples, and see more about how we play the game ourselves. It's very different having played the game thousands of times versus having played a game one time. And I'm still finding new strategies. I'm still finding new ways to combine cards and decks, new systems between factions and multiplayer games. So we'll try and expose as many of those as we can.